right things on the right side and the wrong things on the wrong side.
Cosine equals 87 divided by 105, the square root of 105.
I mean, I can't always be their little girl.
The preschool years, a time when the child's mind discovers, explores, and puzzles over the mysteries and wonders of the everyday world. Drawing on developmental experiences from the infancy and toddler years, preschoolers now function in a world they cannot fully understand. Their ability to interact socially grows day by day as adults become sources of both security and knowledge, and other children become playmates and sometimes rivals. During these formative years, healthy development depends on the presence of caring adults to provide continuous support and supervision. To allow the preschool years to be a time for carefree learning, growth, and development. Visiting the lives of preschool-age children, we'll see how each child's development follows a similar course, yet is strongly influenced by who the child is and the contexts of development.
Who's that pretty girl in the mirror?
Kelly.
That's Kelly? You mean that's not Sweetie Pie?
No. No.
It's Kelly.
Daddy.
Oh, you see Daddy in the mirror too?
I see you.
At 3 years, 9 months, Kelly Jones is at an age of rapid physical and cognitive changes. Her development is aided by devoted parents who promote her sense of self-confidence.
Having grown up with very little self-confidence myself and having to pick it up later on in life, I feel that placed me at a real disadvantage. And I don't want her to have that. I want her to go out there and always feel that whatever it is she wants or she needs, she can get with just a little bit of chutzpah and elbow grease.
What are you doing? Don't smile. Don't do it. Don't do it. She's the kind of kid that will walk up to somebody in an airport or on the street and say, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, stops them dead in their tracks, and they say, "Well, hello." And more than one person has said, "You know, that kid is going to make it in life."
Kelly's mom provides constant love and reassurance while also encouraging Kelly's independence by allowing her to make decisions.
Want to do this by yourself or you want me to help?
Do all by myself.
All right. You have some fun, and I'm going to go wash dishes, okay?
Okay.
She tends to find very creative things to do with her own time, and she loves to explore colors and textures.
The Joneses are careful to maintain daily rituals that offer comfort and stability.
How are you going to say blessing with a full mouth? Daddy's going to have to. You going to say it or is Daddy going to say it? Okay.
Thank you, God, for this food and all the blessings you've given us. Amen.
Amen. Okay.
I have really calendared her day into a very structured thing where we know exactly at a given time what it is that we're going to do. I've split it up over the week so that she's actually able to help me. She dusts and she vacuums and she does the laundry, and she knows, she'll wake up and she'll know that Monday we do laundry, and she's ready for that.
You want to come? You want to? Come on. You want to come? Let's go round the clock, round the clock.
One of the daily activities Kelly most enjoys and looks forward to is exercise time.
Come on, baby,
Put a smile on your face. That's what we get in the USA. Round the clock.
She also delights in formal dance class or almost any form of physical activity, from spider crawling to tunnel climbing.
Take it up. I take me picture. Take it. Whoa! Whoa!
I really liked the fact that she was outgoing and a people person, and I says, well, she can do it, I can do it. You know, she's only 3. So if she can go up and say, hello, I really want you to be my friend, and they like that, then I can do that as well.
Cody is one of Kelly's best friends. Together, they share experiences and perceptions of the wider world.
You want to have a tea party? You want to have a tea party? Just no. Yes. Okay. You want tea or coffee? Apple juice.
Okay, it's okay. Come here. It's okay, sweetie. It's okay. You okay? Okay.
I don't want to see you, but it's raining.
And it's good to have rain. The rain is what makes our flowers grow.
Yeah.
So rain is really good because we need it so our flowers will grow and our grass will stay green.
I want her to see the world as a friendly place, a place that's welcoming for her, because a lot of people who don't have that end up self-destructing. I mean, it's harder on them in life. So I'd like Kelly to have that ability to go through the world and enjoy it, you know, enjoy life.
Who is this?
Kelly.
Can you say your name? Who are you?
Kelly.
Kelly. Hi, Kelly.
A community preschool program exposes Kelly to a wide variety of peers and to the notion that learning is fun.
What's this?
What's this? A ladybug.
What's this?
A spider.
Yeah. W-X-Y-N-Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? I haven't had my hello hug. I've missed you this morning.
Last year we reached a point where both of us were having to work away from home. I had gotten a job that required my being gone from 8 till 9 and later sometimes. So I never saw Kelly, and I realized that at one point I started noticing that I was beginning to lose her. She never came to me when she got hurt. She wouldn't look at me in the eyes, and another thing I noticed about her was that her verbal skills were really behind. They were so significantly behind that I felt that something was not working right in her life. So I decided to come home and take a 6-month sabbatical and try to rebuild the relationship that I had lost with Kelly.
Yeah, let's try again. Let's go. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. We're making you late.
You're always going to start off doing something wrong before you realize this isn't working. Nobody's happy here. And I don't feel guilty about it. I mean, I don't kill myself. I just say, okay, well, I didn't know any better.
We want to pass it on to Kelly because that's the way you have a good life. You realize you're going to make 100 mistakes, and you get through it. You know?
And it's good to make mistakes, because then you grow. You know, you become a better person.
No, I want him.
No, I want.
Four-year-old twin brothers, Joe and Luke McGarry, were 20 months old when their family moved from England to California. Thanks in large part to their culture and family, the boys are gentle and considerate beyond their years.
I think a lot of it's to do because they are twins, and they've always had to share, and they've always had to wait if I'm busy. You know, one of them's got to, so they're quite placid, aren't they? You know, they wait the turn, and if other kids do come round, then, you know, they're the same with other kids. You know, they'll wait the turn, and, you know,
I mean, rightly or wrongly, we, you know, coming from England, set a great store by please and thank you and, you know, wait until you're asked. And, you know, we kind of drum that into them. And I think there's an element of that about it, you know, that I don't think my two are the ones that will sort of elbow their way to the front of the line. You know, it's that English thing. It's, we like to wait in lines.
Living with two cultures poses potential problems for the twins.
The thing that worries us most is that once they're in school, they then absorb a totally different background to us. Whereas our background is the Battle of Hastings, theirs will be the Battle of Gettysburg. And instead of it being kings and queens, it will be presidents. We worry about will we be able to help them. You know, when they say to me, you know, who was the 11th president? You know, I don't know. So that kind of worries me. What strikes me about the education...
We're going to have nothing in common with them because, I mean, we were brought up in England and they're rapidly becoming American, aren't they? So we worry that we're going to have nothing in common whatsoever.
But then again, you look at it and you think, well, what parent does anyway? Because by the time they get to the teens, they're not going to speak to you anyway, are they, you know?
He used to rush hither and thither and hither and back again all the time. And of course, he was always in such a rush that he never ever finished anything properly.
Joe and Luke benefit from being exposed to a variety of experiences.
The thing about twins is that they've always got exactly the same interests at exactly the same time. So, I mean, normally with siblings, one would be into pop music, you know, while the other one's still into baseball cards or whatever. Whereas these two are always interested in exactly the same thing at exactly the same time.
One of the boys' avid interests is cartooning, their dad's profession. He draws the character Marshall Mask for English newspapers.
What does that say?
This one. It says, put Bruce under pressure and he'll always do something crazy.
What does that
I think it's bound to influence them, you know, bound to interest them, hopefully.
The McGarry parents are careful to recognize that despite their similarities, Luke and Joe are very much individuals.
Right from the start, they've been totally different little boys all the way along.
Yeah, Joey's got a temper, but Luke is always quite sunny. And, you know, he's nearly always in a good mood, but Joey can throw a temper tantrum.
Yeah, which is, Joey's more like me, isn't he?
Yeah.
Joey's like me.
Short
and,
fuse.
You know, and Luke is like his mum.
No, I can tell it. Dude, let go. No, I can tell it myself. Me too. Mom tells you to let go.
Although the twins do have occasional conflicts, they've matured greatly from a year ago when this exchange occurred.
Luke has broken the train set now. That's not happy. He's breaking it. Yes, and I break my train. That's not happy. That's bad. Oh. Look, he broke the train set. I don't like him when he does that. Let me take the bubble.
One sign of the boys' growing maturity is their frequent and comfortable interaction with their peers. They share with their friends a love of furry animals.
He walked here.
While the boys' accents are all British, their developing vocabulary is influenced by both their British parents and their American friends.
Speak up, Jenny.
It's difficult for them because I'll say, instead of saying put something in the trunk, I'll say put that in the boot, you know, and instead of saying, oh, I've just got to lift the bonnet up. And you know, they then run out and say to some kid, you know, oh, Dad's under the bonnet. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, no wonder they get shocked looks from people. And what they've then got to learn to do is to translate, if you like, and say, oh, you know, under the hood, Dad.
Good shot.
Right, Joe, you stand here with me.
You have to look for it like this, Joey.
4,
a bit hard at first because we've got no family over here. I mean, if we'd have been living in England, they'd have seen more influence from grandparents. And
ours is a peculiar situation anyway, because the four of us are together, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. I mean, fortunately, we all get on quite well.
Mine? Yeah, go on, you try now. Oh, it looks good, looks good. Yeah. Excellent.
shout hooray when you get
Okay. Yeah.
Hey!
You almost hit you in the head. I know. Good job, Joey.
Come on, come on, Come on, Alfred. Come on, Joe.
What did you get? All in two? Are you sure?
Crazy a goal. Point, point. Point, point. Point, point.
By maintaining constant good cheer, the McGarry parents do much to encourage their boys to view life with a positive attitude.
Yeah, what about that? That's crazy goal.
As Luke and Joe grow towards middle childhood and adolescence, they will become increasingly independent of their parents. But wherever they go, their best friend will go with them. Amelia Diaz. As a preschooler, she is experimenting and exploring typical preschool curiosities. But her life has unique challenges. Amelia is totally blind.
Amelia being our first child and the pregnancy being completely normal without any problem at all, and then all of a sudden being faced, it's like, it's shocking, and it crushes you because, you're expecting this normal child in all senses without any problems. And for me, in our country, we have a lot of electricity cuts. There's power failures, like during the day, and at night sometimes I would wake up screaming because I would be terrified of the darkness, and I thought the worst thing that could happen to you was to be blind. And so to have a child who is blind, it was like reliving all that. It was really traumatic.
But the Diazes overcame the trauma to see Amelia as a unique and special individual.
Seeing her not as a blind child, but, a child who is blind. Like at the meetings where we go every once a month, we just say, oh, she's only blind, Okay, so what? Let's overlook that and let's see what she can do.
I'm going to get here first in the slide. I'm going to get here first.
Like most preschoolers, Amelia delights in playing with her dad. This activity on the swings helps develop her motor skills.
No me gane, Amelia, no me gane. 1, 2, and... We haven't dwelled on the fact that she can't see. We try to give her the best that we can give her as a parent. For that particular day that we feel sad, we just cry. And you have to cry, and you have to let that emotion out. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to give her the best of you. Red light. Green light. Stop.
Like many older siblings, Amelia seems to have mixed feelings toward her younger sister, Maria, despite parents who show them equal measures of love and support.
Mamá.
Hola, mija, mi abrazo, ¿dónde está?
Maria wants to play with you, Amelia.
No. She thrown myself
Amelia, she
away.
doesn't do it on purpose. She just wants to sit down next to you and play, okay? Amelia.
Amelia still prefers to do things on her own mostly. Maria sometimes gets on her nerves and takes away her toys, and for her it's really frustrating when she can't find her toys close to her. For now, Amelia's really jealous. She says, Mommy, I'm so jealous of her. I don't want her. Take her away. When she was born, she told my mom, Mom, you can take her back with you to Dominican Republic. I don't want her. I wanted a little brother, and look what I got, a sister. So...
Amelia learns how to interact with others, along with a host of additional skills at her special preschool program.
Amelia does very, very well in all academic areas, which isn't true for all kids with visual impairments, but she happens to do very, very well. One area that's still difficult for her is taking another's perspective. This is hard enough when you're sighted at that age. It's something that comes at about that age or a little older, taking turns, understanding someone else's point of view, and it's just coming along beautifully with her, but you can see her working it out. Children really prefer to learn from each other, and they really prefer to learn for themselves. We don't stand up in front of the classroom and teach them a set of facts that they need to know. They really need to interact with their environment, explore their materials, and part of that is dealing with your peer group. Here we have both sighted and non-sighted peers, which is wonderful for her. She has a kind of a culture group in her blind friends, people who do things as she does, learn Braille, listen to tapes to get information. And she also has sighted friends that bring in a different perspective.
The fourth little farmer mended broken pens. Can you hammer on the fence? Fix it. Take your fist and hammer. There you go.
The preschool instructors teach through all the senses. This allows the children to more fully understand new information and makes learning fun.
Feeling safe and secure about who you are and where you are is really critical. It's a real red flag for kids who don't see well. It's an area of risk, and if they don't have that, they really are prevented from doing other things. For example, if they don't feel safe where they are, they're not going to walk, they may not crawl, they'll be very hesitant. They may not want to put their fingers in the pudding or the sand or the mud that other kids are doing and get dirty, which would lead to their fine motor development. So if they're not feeling secure, they're not going to want to explore in real necessary ways.
One way Amelia's made physically secure is by learning to use the cane.
Left, right.
Her teacher is careful to be supportive but demanding, encouraging Amelia to strive for her best in a safe atmosphere.
Over on the right. Good girl. You found those little shrubs over there. Right, use your cane. Let's find them with your cane. Right, put your cane out in front and find exactly where they are.
At home, Amelia's parents have the patience and wisdom to encourage her self-reliance whenever possible.
Find a hole with a toaster. The other side. Very good. Is that it? That's the one, it's empty. Okay. Is it closed? Is that the way you're supposed to close it? Okay. Why don't you go ahead and do it slowly? Okay.
I'm fast today.
Oh, you're fast today, I see.
Thanks to her parents and teachers, Amelia is developing an emotional and physical confidence that will serve her well for the rest of her life. And thanks to Amelia, her family is more united than ever.
Okay, now higher.
You have pain sometimes that either does two things, you know, it draws you apart completely or it brings you even closer together. And in our case, it brought us a lot closer together. And she's been a blessing, really, for us. We wouldn't change her for anything.
Three families with preschool-age children, each with different lives, each developing in unique circumstances. Kelly is blessed with loving parents and an amiable, inquisitive personality. Her parents feel she may have had some minor problems in her toddler years, but there's no sign of them now, perhaps thanks to their sensitivity to her needs and their early intervention. One might think that a child who receives so much attention from her parents might be spoiled. Not so with Kelly, as her parents temper play with responsibility and discipline with love.
You don't want to put it up, but we still need to put it up because it's time for you to put the game up right now.
No.
Ah. Where's that yes? Let's see, we've had to use 5 of them today, but I still have 31 left. Here's yes number 31.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, that's good cooperating.
Joe and Luke are growing up in an alien culture in the United States. While their parents express some concerns about this, they strive to meet the boys' developmental needs, and both appear to be on a healthy trajectory. Amelia, too, has the measure of love and support she needs as she faces her developmental challenges.
Okay, let me do it.
You do it by yourself.
Here, one finger here, one finger here.
On the last one, this way.
But her blindness presents developmental obstacles, not barriers. Kelly's mom is quick to pick up on her feelings and to moderate her fears, in a way her preschool playmate cannot.
Ah! You like being stuck, you silly Kelly.
Still, Kelly shows that she's well on her way to attaining a sense of autonomy and initiative and becoming an active explorer of her environment. Joe and Luke's parents promote their autonomy and initiative by involving them in a variety of activities and providing sympathetic encouragement when needed. Amelia, too, is developing a sense of independence. The support of her parents and her special relationship with her father also helps to smooth out developmental obstacles. For Kelly, cognitive advances and her ability to make friends will undoubtedly serve her well when she advances into middle childhood. For Joe and Luke, continued close attention to their individual differences will help ensure that they develop along paths best suited to their unique identities. And as we desire for all preschool-age children, they will have the necessary confidence and security for tackling the challenges that await them in middle childhood.